you get here? The hell happened to you?
Lieutenant, can't you tell your own work? You wanted to arrest me at any cost. Well, here's the cost. To me. What did you think they did to deserters and rebels, huh? Send them on vacation? Welcome to my hell. They like to get rough. I believe they smile. I'm just about done bleeding, though. You should have just killed me. Same result, just cleaner.
There. Not quite perfect yet, but you'll survive to flee. Again.
That was kind of you. Better already. What can I do for you now?
I'm looking for an old man. Old Technomancer from Aurora who should be here. Probably passes himself off as someone else now, though.
A Technomancer? Here? Sure, I would have heard about him if you were... Though, come to think of it, there is this old fella. Got scars all over his face, like all your kind seem to have. Works as a mechanic. Not sure if he's your man, but... if he ain't, that's all I got.
Thanks, Boris. You better get going now. Nisha, are you all right? Hey, are you Professor Charles Seeker?
I am. And you? You are... What does a Technomancer want with...
Long story, Professor. Just know I'm a friend of Scott's. We looked for you in Ophir. Even got our hands on some of your notes, but,
My research notes? On Technomancers? How? I coded them to make sure those ASC thugs couldn't read them. Did you manage to read them?
I just gave him to Scott.
Oh, good. Good. I'm sure he deciphered them with no trouble. Scott's eccentric, I know, a little unstable even, especially since he lost his child. Even still, he is the greatest mind in abundance. A genius who's focused his research on people like you. Technomancers. I'm sure my notes, which I pray no one but you and Scott will see, will be a great service to him. I was able to prove nothing, really, but my work pointed to a high probability that the abilities of your kind stemmed from what Earthlings called gene therapy.
Not sure what that means, Professor.
Yes, of course. They modified genes to cure disease, provoked mutations, modifications that got passed on to offspring as well. Look, in theory, at least. A theory I will never get to test now, I'm afraid. Being held here. Well, I suppose it's better this way. Undeniably incredible research, but Research that could also, unfortunately, lead to the enslavement of your kind. Cast you as just another mutation to be contained, you know. Afraid of what they don't know. And while I'm sure there was good intention in their creation of your mutation, no one can say what that reason is.
Can you keep this a secret, Professor?
My lips are sealed, now and forever. No one else will ever be privy to my research.
Thank you, Professor. Take care. Hello. I'm looking for an old man, a Technomancer.
Oh, you're knocking at the wrong door. There's no Technomancer here. See, we're here to think in a politically correct way. Besides, you don't look like someone who's politically correct. Leave me alone. I don't want to go back into the room.
Hello. I'm looking for someone. A rather old man.
What is the man doing in the camp?
He was locked up here because he was living away from corporations. He's a Technomancer like me, but way older. And he comes from Aurora.
He is not sure, but he believes he recognized that the old man had the Aurora way of speaking. But he thinks that the man is mistaken because he is not a Technomancer. He doesn't make lightning bolts. He is a mechanic, not a good mechanic.
Thank you very much for the information. Hello. I'm looking for a prisoner. An old man from Aurora. He's a former Technomancer.
There are no Technomancers here. He would be killed right away or sent to a camp as a prisoner of war. You're in the wrong camp. This here is a rehabilitation camp for deviants, dissenters. It's supposed to get us to think right again. Sorry, I don't see.
Maybe he hid what he was. He used to live far from the corporation. Maybe they mistook him for a deviant, an outcast. But he must have kept some of his mannerisms or accent from Aurora.
That could be George. I've always thought that he had a funny way of talking. He works as a mechanic. He really looks burned out. But the funny thing is, I once heard him say he was barely 50. You think he was at least 20 years older. He must have had a really bad life, worse than ours.
That could be him. Technomancy tends to age us faster. Thank you. Hello, I'm looking for someone.
A man? He doesn't mingle with men. Men avenge themselves upon them, so he stays away.
All right, I understand. Goodbye. I'm looking for an old man. He's from Aurora, and he used to be a Technomancer.
Well, you're looking for him in the wrong place. It's true that there's a guy with a funny way of speaking, but I can't believe that he's from Aurora. That sounds crazy. What would he be doing here?
Who is that man?
His name's George. An old guy, as you said, and the way he speaks sounds funny. Anyway, as if he were making fun of us with complicated words. He's a mechanic, though.
This could mean that he studied within the elite in a corporation that were a little precious. Thank you.
It shows enormous strength and courage to be able to hide so much in such a place.
You did the same thing, Phobos. Went back into the pen in no fear, passing yourself off as someone else.
Perhaps in some ways, but I was driven by a will to save my people. What is it that drives that man?